Hello, dear friend. I'm glad you're here. Before we begin, let's make a small, quiet nest out of this moment. If you're comfortable, loosen your shoulders, soften your jaw, and let your eyes rest. We'll take 3 gentle breaths together. Inhale slowly through the nose for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for the soft width of a heartbeat. Now exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last time, a whisper of air coming in, and a long, cozy sigh going out. Good. If you have a warm drink nearby, you may take a small sip. Let the warmth drift down and settle. The night is kind. The night is slow. Our story opens at the hush of evening, on a lane that folds into a wood known by the old maps as the Whispering Forest. The sky is a deep velvet blue, threaded with first stars. The air smells of damp bark, clean earth, and the faint sweetness of crushed pine needles underfoot. Somewhere far off, water speaks in a little stream. Shh, shh, like the edge of a lullaby. A traveler arrives at the threshold, where the meadow ends and shadowed trunks begin. He is called Rowan, named by chance or fate after a tree, and he has come here not to conquer, not to gather, but to listen. Rowan's pack is light, a folded cloak, a small loaf of bread wrapped in cloth, a canteen of clear water, and a smooth stone he keeps in his pocket, warm from his palm. He pauses at the first arch of branches and lifts his face. A breeze moves through the leaves with a soft, steady hush, as if the forest were breathing him in. The path is moss-bedded and forgiving, springy under his steps. Fireflies blink to life like small patient thoughts. Above, the canopy is woven tight and gentle, letting the last gold of evening sift down in thin ribbons. The forest does not loom. It welcomes. It feels like a room you've known all your life, but somehow forgot. Familiar, tender, and ready to be remembered. There is an old saying in the villages nearby. When a person's mind grows noisy, the forest grows quiet. When a person grows quiet, the forest begins to speak. Rowan has carried a little noise in his chest for a long time. Small worries, little griefs, questions that circle and circle without landing. He does not expect answers tonight. He expects a walk. But the forest is known for a different kind of giving. Here, the trees share their stories with those who step softly and set down their hurry. Not stories of thunder or great tempests, but of seed and sun and seasons. Stories with simple truths that feel like warm hands. Rowan steps forward. The light dims to a soothing blue. He listens, and for a long moment hears only his own footsteps and the feather brush of leaves. Then something changes, like the way the heart slows after a sigh. The hush in the branches gathers itself into meaning. Not words exactly, more like the shape that words take just before they form. A curve, a pulse, a rhythm. He stands still, palms open. I will listen, he thinks, and the thought itself feels like a small bow. The first voice is old and low, like a cello played very softly. He cannot tell which trunk is speaking. Perhaps it is the ground itself. The voice does not hurry. It speaks in the calm tide of a long life. Rowan senses welcome in it. He senses a patient smile. He senses time in rings. Far above, a few clouds drift across the face of the moon, and the forest darkens by a shade, not to frighten, only to deepen. A light, fine mist begins, just enough to comb the air, just enough to make the leaves whisper, shh, shh. Rowan lifts his hood and keeps listening, the mist settling on his cloak, cool and clean. The scent of the world sharpens, resin, moss, petrichor. Everything slows. Before the tree speaks its first story, the forest asks for a small trade. Not a price, never that, but a posture. Be small, the branches seem to murmur. Be simple, be here. Rowan closes his eyes and breathes in time with the hush of leaves. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each breath clears a little more room in him. The noise quiets. He sets down the day like a heavy coat and steps into the easy weight of night. He remembers then why he came. Not for great changes, not for a map, only to feel the world's slow wisdom pass through him, like moonlight through a glass of water. To be reminded that life ripens even when we are not watching, that the heart knows which way is home, that joy and loss can sit together on the same bench and hold hands. These are not lessons, he thinks. They are simple truths, soft, steady, and ready to be noticed. Rowan opens his eyes. The mist silvers the edges of everything. The path leads inward, curving like a soft question. He takes one step, then another, feet quiet on the moss. The old voice gathers itself again, and the leaves above lift and settle, as if shifting in their sleep. The forest makes a gentle promise to him, and to us listening with him. Here the stories arrive the way dawn arrives, gradual, kind, and certain. No rush, no sharp edges, only thresholds, only the next small, sweet breath. If you like, take one more slow inhale with Rowan now, and a long, easy exhale. Feel how the body understands when it is safe. Feel how the thoughts soften when the world around you whispers, "Shh." The night is on our side. The forest is ready. The first tree leans into its memory, into its joy, into the soft shine of what it has learned. It will speak, and we will listen, and in the listening we may find ourselves set gently down in the place we've been seeking all along. Rowan follows the path deeper, and the old low voice thins into a hush that makes space for others. The mist softens to a damp sparkle on needles and leaves. A single droplet runs down the tip of a fern and lets go, plink. Somewhere an owl rearranges its feathers with a quiet rustle. The traveler steps lightly, as if walking through someone's sleep. He arrives at a clearing rimmed with pale trunks that gleam like moonlit skin. Birch trees, slender, bright, and awake. The nearest birch bows a little, the way a reed bows to the wind. When it speaks, its voice is silvery and quick, like a bell struck far away. "Joy," the birch says without preface, as though greeting an old friend. People think it is a visitor, but joy is a resident. The leaves ripple. Shh. And Rowan tilts his head to listen. The birch's story is simple. It tells of a spring when its catkins first opened and sent a fine golden dust drifting into the air. The forest wore a thin veil of sunlight. Birds threaded grass into nests along their highest branches. A child laughed at nothing in particular on the path below. That was the lesson, the birch says. Joy is what arrives when nothing in particular is demanded of the moment. Rowan rests a palm on the cool, papered bark. He feels the quiet strength beneath. The birch goes on. I do not store joy for later. I make it the way leaves make sugar from light. A little ritual helps. Morning light, one deep drink from the soil. Then I lift my small green hands. The tree's soft sound is like a satisfied hum. Humans call it gratitude, the birch adds, but to me it's simply photosynthesis of the spirit. The idea makes Rowan smile. He thinks of his own small rituals, the way he warms his hands around a cup, the way he closes his eyes to taste the first bite of bread. Joy made in place, not chased, not trapped, made. He thanks the birch in a whisper. The pale trunks shimmer as if pleased. A breeze presses through the clearing. Leaves answer with a quiet applause. Hush, hush, hush. Rowan breathes with them. In for 4, out for 6, like a tide that never hurries. Thank you, he says, and the word seems to sink into the bark like rain. He moves on as the path narrows and bends. The damp deepens. Threads of mist comb the air low to the ground. The trunks darken into a stand of willows, whose branches fall in soft curtains, each thin green ribbon beaded with droplets. The willow nearest the path dips a long, wet strand, as though touching his shoulder. Its voice, when it comes, is quiet and low, water over stones. Loss, the willow says gently. It came to me as a river that forgot its banks. It tells of a season when the stream nearby swelled with unexpected rain and slid out across the roots, patient and unstoppable. The willow did not break. It flexed, it bowed. A nest slipped from a branch and sailed away like a small woven boat. I wept sap, the willow admits, and let go of leaves before their time. That year I learned that grief is not a storm to outlast, but a slow river to learn. The strands tremble with memory, then rest. I widened, the willow continues. I grew roots deeper and roots elsewhere. I learned to hold and release at once. A droplet falls, plink, and the sound is kind. Rowan's throat warms, then loosens. He thinks of things he has set down and things that were taken, and how both felt like empty hands waiting. How do you know when to let go? He asks, surprised to hear his own voice. The willow answers with the patience of rain. When holding keeps you from drinking, its branches sway barely, a green sigh. We may love what is passing and still step aside to let it pass. Loss is a teacher who never raises her voice. Rowan bows his head and stands beneath the willow's soft tent, listening to the water that isn't there anymore, hearing it anyway. The mist thickens for a slow minute, then thins again. When he steps from the willow's shade, he feels lighter, as if a careful hand has untied a small knot at the center of his chest. The path climbs now, just a little, and the air changes. Resin, sun-warmed even at night, drifts from a hill of pines, and a single oak that anchors the rise, like a thought that has finally found its words. The pine voices are bright, bright, like small flutes, murmuring of snowlight and clear mornings and the pleasure of standing together. But the oak, wide and steady, waits. Rowan approaches the oak, whose bark is ridged like a well-read book. When it speaks, the voice is spacious, slow, and quietly sure. Wisdom, the oak says, not heavy, simply true. It isn't cleverness. It is comprehension with kindness. The oak's story reaches far back. Seed, soil, first push into dark, first taste of light. Decades are measured in rings, lightning that never struck, winds that came and went, small feet that rested at its base, hands that carved initials it has long since forgiven. What remains, the oak says, are rhythms, morning and evening, work and rest, listening and speaking. The leaves stir overhead, shh, and settle, as if agreeing. Rowan sits against the oak's trunk, feeling the slow, even patience of wood and time. I have wanted to be many people, he confesses softly, to start over in other cities, to be taller, quicker, done. The oak's response is a kind smile he can feel more than see. Begin where your roots can drink, it says. Grow at the pace of your breath. Turn toward what warms you. Drop what is finished. Keep what feeds you. Simple, steady sentences, like stepping stones across a shallow stream. And remember, the oak adds, we do not stand alone. The mycelium carries messages between us. We share what we can. Ask for what you need. Rowan thinks of the people who have been soil to him, and those for whom he has been shade. He thinks of the small kindnesses that pass through a day like underground threads, unseen, sustaining. The oak finishes with a quiet phrase that lodges firmly in Rowan's heart. Wisdom is what is left when hurry leaves. The traveler closes his eyes and breathes once more, slow and even. The forest breathes with him. Soft and low. He feels the birch's brightness, the willow's tenderness, the oak's gravity, braided together like a cord he can hold. When he opens his eyes, the clearing is just a clearing again, the path just a path, and yet everything is more itself than before. He rises, thanks the trees, and they answer in the oldest language they know, a gentle sway, a small surrender to the night breeze, a kiss of leaf on leaf. As he steps down from the rise, the stream's voice returns on the left, steady and sweet. The way forward is plain. He is not hurrying. He is not lost. He is simply moving at the speed of listening. If you like, join him. Inhale slowly and exhale a little longer, letting the shoulders melt, letting the jaw unclench. The forest gathers around like a shawl. The stories have been told. Ahead waits a place to rest. And now, dear friend, the night lowers its voice. Rowan follows the stream to a small mossy alcove tucked between two roots that curve like open arms. The ground is spring soft, cool, and welcoming. A fern leans over like a green feather. The water nearby keeps speaking in its calm, repeating hush. Shh, shh, steady as breathing. Fireflies drift and pause, as if nodding off mid-air. Above, the canopy loosens just enough to show a handful of kind stars. Rowan loosens his pack and sets it down. He draws out his cloak and shakes it gently, fuff, and lays it over the moss. He places the smooth stone from his pocket on the ground near his hand, as he always does, so he can find it in the dark if he wakes. He is not planning anything now. He is lying down during the day. The birch's lesson about joy hums in him like a very quiet bell. Joy is what arrives when nothing is demanded of the moment. The willow's tenderness is a cool hand on the brow. Hold and release at once. The oak's steadiness is the feeling of a slow tide. Wisdom is what is left when hurry leaves. These truths don't push. They settle like silt in clear water, making the stream more itself. He stretches out on the cloak, one knee loose, one palm open. The earth holds his weight the way a friend holds a secret, gently, without a ripple. If you like, join him. Let your shoulders sink a little deeper. Soften the eyes, even if they're already closed. Let the tongue rest heavy and quiet. We'll take a few slow breaths, easy and unforced. Inhale through the nose for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold a soft pause. Exhale through the mouth for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, draw in comfort and breathe out what can be set down. One more time, in with the quiet and out with the day. The forest makes its small nightly adjustments. A leaf turns its face to the cooler side. A twig, having finished its small work of holding, relaxes with a delicate tick. The mist gathers into the lightest sprinkle, almost like breath on the skin, then thins again. Rowan brings the edge of the cloak over his chest and closes his eyes. He is not alone, but he is perfectly solitary. The way a single tea light is solitary, yet never lonely when a room is listening. From somewhere higher, an owl offers one soft, question-shaped note, and then holds the silence for the answer only silence can give. If we wish, we can let the body follow Rowan into stillness with a slow and simple scan. Begin at the crown, where thoughts sometimes collect like tiny birds. Imagine the birds settling their wings. Smooth the brow. Let the eyes nestle deeper in their quiet hollows. The cheeks release, the jaw unhooks, the tongue rests. The throat widens like a small path cleared in the woods. Shoulders loosen and drop, down and away. The chest floats, buoyed by easy breath. The heart rocks in its cradle of ribs, patient and unhurried. The belly softens like warm bread. Hips heavy, held. Thighs uncoil, knees quiet, calves a little farther from doing. Ankles slacken, feet warm and drowsy, toes like small, contented seeds. Rowan listens to the stream and feels the ground answer from below. He notices each simple comfort, the cloak's edge against his wrist, the moss's gentle lift under his spine, the roundness of the stone near his palm. He does not reach for it. He does not need anything to be different. The trees speak again, but now the words arrive as feelings rather than sentences. From the birch, a soft silver brightness, like a smile you can feel even with your eyes closed. From the willow, a cool, sweet ease that says you may rest without finishing it all. From the oak, a warm, steady yes that spreads from the center outward. In this light, thoughts that used to circle now draw wider, slower loops. Some land, some drift on. None of them is urgent. Sleep moves through the forest with bare feet, careful of every root and stone, pausing where someone is ready. It is already near. You do not have to look for it. You can let it find you. If there's anything left in your hands, plans, lists, the echo of a conversation, you can imagine handing it to the stream. The stream does not mind. It is made to carry and return, carry and return. The sound it makes, shh, shh, is the sound of being understood without explanation. If there's a single thought that wishes to stay, tuck it under the cloak beside you, like Rowan's stone. It will be there in the morning. For now, nothing is demanded of the moment. We'll take one more gentle breath together. In for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And out for 8, longer this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how the exhale opens the door a little wider. You may step through, or you may sit at the threshold and do nothing. Both are resting. The night deepens by a shade. The forest dimly gleams, bark, leaf, still water, as if lit from within. Rowan's breaths lengthen. The owl is now simply a shape of quiet in the branches. The fireflies blink less and less until the gaps between their lights turn into sleep. If you wake later, the stream will still speaking. If you do not, the stream will speak to your dreams instead. Either way, you are held. From root tip to star tip, the whispering forest hums a last low lullaby. No melody, only the comfort of belonging. The birch, the willow, and the oak keep their soft watch. Joy is a resident. Loss can be carried and set down, both. Wisdom remains when hurry leaves. Let these truths sit beside you without weight. Let them be the gentle company that sleep loves. And now, dear friend, let the body be heavy, the breath be easy, the mind be a small, warm room with the light dimmed. The door is closed. The world is kind. Nothing is missing. Nothing is required. Shh. Good night.